Hi guys, this is a video to go through the live lesson from today, Tuesday, October 13th. Please watch this video if you're not in class or if you need more review and practice before the test tomorrow. So the goal from today is I know how to write a paragraph. So the first thing we did was a greeting and check-in, and then we did a review, and then do a Kahoot review. So I want to know how you're feeling for our test tomorrow. So how are you feeling for the test tomorrow? Um, Tell me how you're feeling by using which gift best represents how you are feeling. Maybe you are relaxed, like this um, Pikachu right here, kind of taking it easy, you're not worried. Or maybe um, you're sad or kind of nervous or anxious. Whatever you're feeling, that's fine. Just kind of think about that, and if you need to do more review to make you feel better about what's going on, you can do that too. So, what is on the test tomorrow? So it's everything we've covered so far this school year. So about how to write sentences and paragraphs. So we've talked about how to write sentences, which means including capital letters and periods. So periods go at the end of your sentence, capital letters go at the beginning. We've talked about writing a complete sentence and what that means. Writing a paragraph, what is a paragraph? Indenting, making sure your paragraph is like a group of sentences, not just like a bunch of individual sentences. And then we've also spent a lot of time talking about topic sentences. So remember that a complete sentence, it starts with a capital letter. We capitalize the first letter of the sentence. And then it ends in a period, just like the little dot at the end. But sometimes you might use an exclamation point. That's okay, or a question mark. But we need the ending punctuation. So I think this next part is honestly the hardest part that will be on our test. Is how sentences have two parts. So we have the who or the what of the sentence, and then we have the what's happening or like what's going on. So let's think of this sentence right here. If we say the banana is yellow, what are we talking about? The what is the banana. Then what's happening or what's it doing, what's going on? Well, it's yellow. So is yellow is the what's happening. So I think that will be really helpful. If we look at another example, we might say like Mrs. Sovey has brown hair. So who are we talking about? Mrs. Sovey. What's happening? Has brown hair. So a good hint to remember is once you know like the who or the what, everything else is what's happening. So maybe that would be something else to help you with. But remember that sentences need those two parts. Any extra details that it has, like where or when, those are extra things. They're not needed. These two you need to have for your sentence to be complete. So a way you can test to see if it has those two parts is making sure the sentence makes sense by itself. So that means just looking at that individual sentence. So to see if it makes sense, you can test your sentence by doing the guess what test. So what you do is pretend someone said guess what, and then say your sentence and see if it makes sense. So if I said, guess what, and someone said, my favorite movie is The Avengers, does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. I now know your favorite movie is The Avengers. It's okay if it's random, but if it does, but if it doesn't make sense, then it's not a sentence, a complete sentence. But saying that my favorite movie is The Avengers does make sense. So that's a good way for us to test it to see if we have that who and the what. You can also test, let's do another example that maybe wouldn't make sense. So if I just said, someone said, guess what? And he said, chocolate chip cookie. I'd be like, what about chocolate chip cookies? Like, what are you talking about? You'd be confused. You don't really know what's going on, and it's like, doesn't make sense. So if it doesn't make sense, then you probably don't have a complete sentence. You're not having the who or the what. Maybe you're not. Maybe you don't have the who or the what, or you don't have the what's happening. So like with chocolate chip cookie, we have like what we're talking about, but we don't know what's happening. Like, did you eat a chocolate chip cookie? Is a chocolate chip cookies delicious? Like, what's going on here? See how if we need more details, then we are missing one of these parts, and that's why it doesn't make sense. So remember, when we are writing paragraphs, what is a paragraph? A paragraph is a group of sentences. They are all together in a group. So what does that mean? To have the group of sentence means that sentences need to be next to each other. That's what makes them a group. Look at the sentence right here. So, or this paragraph, sorry. This is a paragraph. We can see them as a group. They're all right next to each other. Or as of right here, this is not a group. It's sentence, line, sentence, line. This is not a group. This is just a bunch of sentences. Or this is not a paragraph. It's just a bunch of sentences. A paragraph needs to be a group. One thing that I want to talk about quick before we move on is that this is a mistake I've seen a lot of students do when they're writing, when they're trying to write a paragraph, is that they don't put spaces between their next sentences. So you have your sentences as a group to make a paragraph, but then when you go into your next sentence, you still need a space after the period. See how I have period, space bar, then I start my new word, right? Period, space, new word. I see a lot of students do period and then start their new word. So there's no space, but we need that space there. So quick note to make sure you're doing everything correctly. Another thing we've talked about is indenting. So the first sentence of your paragraph needs to be indented. Indented. What is indenting? Indenting is literally means space. So we're creating a little tiny space at the beginning of our paragraph. So to do that, you press the tab button. The tab button is right underneath the 1 button on your keyboard. So you can find it that way. And then you only press the tab 1 time. And that creates just the perfect amount and of that space. You don't press the space bar a bunch of times. Don't press tab multiple times. Press tab 1 time. So here we have the same paragraph next to each other. The only difference is this one is indented. Do you see how it starts with a space? That is because it's indented, where this one, there's no space right here. It just starts right away. This is what your paragraphs need to look like. And then the last thing we've been talking about is our topic sentences. Remember, a topic sentence is the first sentence of your paragraph. Topic sentence tells the readers what your paragraph is about. It is kind of like introducing your reader to what your paragraph's about. Just like the title of a book tells the person what the book's about. The first sentence of your paragraph tells you what the rest of the paragraph's about. So here's some examples of some topic sentences. So the first one says, there are many parts of my identity. So if this was the topic sentence, I would know, even though I haven't read the rest of the paragraph, I know that the paragraph is about my identity and the different parts of it, right? That's what the topic sentence said. This one right here says, dogs are my favorite animal. Well, if this was a topic sentence, I would know the rest of the paragraph is about dogs and why they're your favorite animal. And then our last example, the best gift I ever got was a Nintendo Switch. If this was a topic sentence, I would know the rest of the paragraph is about the Nintendo Switch and then maybe the reasons why it was the best gift you ever got. So these sentences, as topic sentences, introduce me to what the rest of the paragraph is about. Makes it much easier to read and just makes your paragraph much better overall. So these are the things we've covered this unit. We've talked about writing sentences and writing paragraphs and then different components of those. So to practice the rest of the class time today, we played our Kahoot. The Kahoot link is in Schoology, so please go ahead and do that. It's self-paced, so you get the questions and then you can just answer it. So you can go ahead and do that as a way to practice. I hope you guys all do amazing on the test tomorrow, and if you need any help, we will have office hours tomorrow at 2:40. So I'll see you then.